Wrong way around. Good morning. I've just noticed, yes, it is 8 a.m. here in South Australia. Not quite so sunny, but at least it is a new day with all the potential that we have in a new day. So do that share button thing. I'm just going to turn off the crawler and that wording. So that we can actually get moving into the daily reading. Now, I have had a bit of an early start. I've been already involved with a previous live stream this morning that was quite exciting. I have a wonderful group of friends that I've known for quite a few years now, as far as across the other side of the earth, so to speak, in Canada and America, and a couple in the UK that join in together with live streaming. Hi, Carol. So my eyes might look a bit red. They're feeling a bit red, and I am feeling like, I could be a bit airy-headed this morning, and I'm hoping, yes, I have unmuted, that I'm not talking mouthing rather than just, I've done it before, not done the mute. Unmute, isn't it? So we'll move on with that, because today there is some big energies around, especially apparently the Lionsgate portal or whatever, the alignment of the 8th of the 8th is something that's fairly important. Now, I haven't done any reading up on that prior to remembering just then, that's right, there's something about a Lionsgate and stuff like that. There's so much that we can actually become involved in with what our journey is. I've just got to turn off my iPad. It was clicking at me. And it's what you feel led to use as your guidance. So, astrology is one of those that's been used for eons as well, because, the stars have been there to observe. This was pre-TV days and all that sort of stuff. There's so much that's been observed, made aware of, learnt about over the centuries, because the information is there. We know in our hearts that that information, the universal information knowledge that we've got available, we can access it. It's just knowing where to look. It's just also listening into our own intuition. Good morning, Theoni. Of having that, the triggers, the information that we get in, we sometimes just don't recognize when we're getting the messages, and it's improving and practicing and using that of our own intuition and that gut feeling to lead you and me, of course, my own way I do it, but leading you into what area you need to look at next. So do look around for the information around the astrology of the Lionsgate, I think it's called, with the 8th of the 8th, because 8 is an important number too in many cultures. I think with the Chinese, it's to do with prosperity and stuff. It is the infinity symbol. There's so much so much information. I'm here just to help impart some in a very small way to those who are watching live, Carol and Theoni, and even to those that come back to watch a replay. Here is my daily reading for the day today, using the Lenormand deck of cards. Now, these ones, I'm just loving them. They're my favourites, obviously, because I've been using these almost exclusively lately. So that's the pack cover, and I am using the expanded edition. There might be some who are purists and say, you can't do that. You can't use the expanded. That's not the real deck. Look, it's whatever you feel guided to with whatever deck of cards that you feel you need to be using for guidance. Go for it. I know that there's some really, in my opinion, some ugly looking cards out there, but they have the messages that are for whoever's attracted to them, basically. And you go with the flow of who you are and where you're being guided to. These are what I really enjoy. And I'm using the same layout as I have been for a while now, and that is a daily reading that's in the Lenormand, not in the Lenormand, the Gilded Reverie Tarot deck. And hi to you too, Shaz. How are you? Now, we'll start, and this is the pattern. It's the 1 for work, 2 for home, 3 for unexpected, 4 for your role, and 5 as the final outcome or expected outcome. So here we have, in the pure and simple terms of the Lenormand deck, we have the dog. That's the name of the card. That's exactly right. You don't just choose a book by its cover. Oh, well, sometimes we do as the first impression, but that's what we're guided to. It's what gets our attention. So it's the something for everyone. Absolutely, Theone. And it's being open to what you are actually feeling most attracted to in what that energy is giving you from a book that might jump out, or in this case, we're reading cards. Even with astrology, there is set rules with astrology reading to a degree, and then you go to different readers and you're going to get different interpretations around what the energy is on your natal chart. So it really is, yeah, it's doing a bit of self-searching first as to who or what is your energy connection with that's in front of you. You can only work with what's around you at the time. So, and that's where I think that absolute divine connection we have with our spirit soul connection is something we really need to be practicing. And it is a daily thing of practicing and learning who we are through that self-awareness, that becoming familiar with our inner self and not ignoring everything, bringing those things out from the shadows. And this is, for me, I think it's a really great way of learning that. You can use runes if you want to. Go out and throw sticks on the ground and interpret them however you like, what you see in them. So long as you're actually connecting with that message that is within you, because that's part of what our soul contract is. It's part of what our inner being is trying to guide us into in what our destiny is for this lifetime. So just part of my belief system. You need to grow your own, I think, yeah. So we've got here in the work area, this card is the dog. So it's for the loyalty and coming back to it, because I'm great at getting distracted. So the message for me in this one is the work is sitting there loyally waiting for me to come back to it and take it for its walk, which is actually do the work. So that'll be part of my focus for the day today, because this is a daily reading, remember? So it's all things in the context of where it sits at the moment. The question was, guide me with a daily reading. You know, that's what the whole intention is of this. So that's the way it gets read. And in the home section, the home card is the mountain. And, there's a few things that's always needing to be done on the home front. Housework's one of them, because as I woke up in a hurry this morning, I had the notifications wake me that some of my friends were live. So I hopped in, just put on a dressing gown, hopped in and walked over a couple of dust bunnies. And I thought, oh, yep, that's the task for today. So, there's little bits and pieces, that the little hills and valleys are what you have in a daily at home regime as well. So I will have to get the vacuum cleaner out. Not my favourite chore. But that's as practical as these cards can be at times. I do need to do some of that stuff. It's there to be done. So the goal is, yes, I'll get the vacuum cleaner out. I'll just move that one up a little bit so you can see the owls a bit better. Oh, and this is where it gets a bit sticky. And this is in the position of the unexpected. So it could be that I'm needing to be looking a little more closely at what conversations are happening around me, what I'm listening to through the day, because invariably I will be in front of the screen again today doing a live or something, because that's part of my life. It has been since 1982, basically, being in front of a screen. So here we are, and using the wisdom of when to get up, when to come back, all of that. What stuff do I really need to be listening to, watching, or learning? Because or even as far as with the work goes, the never-ending forever bookkeeping when you're in business and things like that. It's actually choosing wisely what comes next, I suppose. That's what I'm feeling around this one for today. It's also like what will be the unexpected. I do have to load a couch into the back of my car at some point, so I know I'll have that as part of the chore. The unexpected could be, when will my friend who's going to help me load it be here? I don't know. I live life in the flow a heck of a lot without having everything planned to a T. And I love the surprises, so I look forward to the unexpected. And I love that, yeah. The housework. I'm not doing anybody else's, I can tell you that, Theone. So thank you very much for that gift and the offer, but unfortunately I'm not in a position to be able to accept it. Plus, there's a bit of a distance too. Oh dear. And what we have here in my role is a compass, and I think, no, it's not pointing to your house, Leonie. But who knows what it's going to be. It is actually a clarification, I think, and the fact that focus just went out then too, I think it's a little bit more around really needing to have that focus on a direction through the day and not just go willy-nilly. So that could be pointing to it. Now, sometimes it's a funny one. Here we've got the expected, the possible outcome or the expected outcome, whatever that middle one is. And in this expanded deck, this is the older lady. I have explained before that there are 12 extra cards in the expanded edition, and it makes it 2 women, 2 men. One's younger, one's older. So this is the older one. It's certainly indicating it's definitely about me. And with the, I do need to get moving on it. We're getting older all the time. That's the phrase that's just going through my head. And I think, yeah, we are. It's now I've lost my train of thought. That's the beauty of actually moving into that, very nearly, very, 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 very nearly moving into that third, I like to call them trimester of life. Not for pregnancy. This is for life. When it's, and I'm sort of thinking, oh, no, I'm not thinking. My head's just gone in a fuzzy now, like the camera is, because it keeps moving in and out of focus. Naughty thing. So those cards are actually suggesting more of a focus on what I'm doing today, choosing those wise things, having that compass there to move it forward and actually attain some of those goals, not just going willy-nilly all over the place. I've had the dice recently where it gives that feeling of, God, like it really is just to throw the dice for what the next one is. I'm feeling that the compass is actually a direction to move more in a defined way forward. So I think really that does cover for me what the reading is for me today. It doesn't have to be a big thing where you have the full grand, now I can't remember even the grand tableau with the Lenormand spread. There is one in the book that uses all the cards of the 36, not so much the expanded, but with 36 or 38 there. Anyway, it's about taking the moments when you actually get the insight and working with that, because sometimes there's just a song that pops up on the radio that means something to you, and that could be the message from a reminder or a message from your spirit, your guides that do this, or it could just be, look, take the moment to remember these things that were part of your history, where you are now, as to the thank you, the being grateful for your life, for all the parts that are of and in it, because at times we do think it's a shit. I've got to be careful a bit of some of the language because I use shitty words at times. I try definitely not to swear, but it's a matter of interpretation of how some people understand what is a swear word and what isn't. For me, shitty's not. So, sometimes when we feel that we've got a shitty life happening, it's actually not. It's giving us those lessons, and it's the pathway we need to be on to be where we are now as strong people, as having learnt how to handle or manage or be grateful for what we've experienced to be who we are right now in this moment. And every moment's perfect. That's the part that I've really come to understand for myself. It doesn't matter what's happening around us. They are just experiences, and they are other people's experiences. At times we're taking on too much of somebody else's that we don't need to. Focus, and there's the compass. Focus and direct your energy to what is yours, and that is what it's saying to me with what is mine. That compass, direct what is mine. What's important for me to be moving in the right direction for what I need to be doing for what is effectively my destiny, my role in life. So I love those hearts. Oh, the flower's gorgeous. You can't sometimes see the little emoticon until you put them up on the screen bigger. And on eCam, I could actually enlarge that even again. But this is Be Live TV, wonderful technology that we're given, that we have to use in being able to share ourselves, really, because that's what I'm doing, sharing what I know and how I use it so that others might learn. And if you don't, that doesn't matter, because you're going to grow and develop your own way of gaining your own information that you need in whatever way that Great Spirit needs to be guiding you in it. So be open to that. Open your hearts, open your souls to listening for that inner self. This physical body is only one way of connecting with that inner who we are. It really is going deep into that soul space of who we are, and knowing that inner child, that inner teenager, that inner adult, and even the inner elderly, if that's where we're at, to fully appreciate the wholeness of our connectedness with each other as well, because that's what it is, the one unit. Now, thank you very much for being here. I'll leave that at that. Otherwise, I could go on with a sermon for as long as... and then that's not entertaining. It's not information. It's just me pushing an opinion. I encourage you to learn for yourselves in what way you're guided to. And thank you for being here, part of my journey as well. And I'll see you tomorrow at around the 8 o'clock, doing another reading for tomorrow and the energy around that. So enjoy your 8 Lions Gate. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now. Namaste.